trade deadline for the 2021 season. Like everything else we've done this year, it's different than what we are used to. First of all, with it being April 12th. I think the other thing you see when you look around the National Hockey League, there were a lot of different forces on the market this year. When you look at the pandemic and just in general terms and what it does to the economies of different teams, when you look at no fans in buildings, when you look at a flat cap, when you factor in expansion and what type of impact that may have had on teams, not our own obviously, but on teams around the NHL. I think that all those things in some way affected teams. It was a little bit of a quieter day today with, I believe, 17 trades involving 26 players, which in terms of volume is a little bit less than an ordinary year. In terms of our own team, we went into this process with working with our pro scouts, developing a list of players around the National Hockey League that we were interested in, making sure that we had really good coverage from our pro staff on those players, determining what our needs were. We were looking for a forward to complement our middle six, to improve our middle six, and felt that was an area of our team, if possible, that we would like to improve. Of course, we didn't have a lot of cap space to work with, as I've said at different times before. With our team, we're a cap team. By choice, we feel that that's allowed us to put together the best roster. The difference between this year and a year ago, I think I've talked to some of you individually about this. The difference between this year and last year. Last year we went into the season recognizing that somewhere along the way we would have moves to make to have our lineup, to strengthen our lineup to a position where we're comfortable going into the stretch drive and hopefully preparing for success in the playoffs. This year, some of that work was done in the off season. So we went into the season recognizing that unlike last year, where I believe we made 5 trades in season, this year there wasn't going to be a lot of movement with our roster. So that was one of the things that we knew going in. As the season went on, we felt that it was important, if possible, to add that forward to improve our top 9, and identified the player Mattias Janmark, who we acquired today. Mattias is a cap hit of $2.25 million. Chicago retained 50% of that cap hit in a transaction that then saw the player go to San Jose, who in turn retained 50% of the remaining balance, which allowed Janmark to come to our organization with a cap hit of $560,000, which was something that we could absorb, and that was the way that the deal was able to be put together. In Mattias Janmark, we get a player that really has good speed. He plays a very direct game. He's had an excellent year in Chicago in an expanded role, probably from what he had in Dallas. We have real good history on the player from the bubble in Edmonton, where we watched not only our own games, but of course every game that was played throughout the playoffs. We in fact ended up playing Dallas in the conference finals. So by the time you spend that much time watching a player, playing against a player like that, you feel that you have a pretty good evaluation of what that guy is and what he can do for you. In turn, we had a lot of viewings on him this year from our pro scouting staff in Chicago, where, as I touched on, he had a somewhat different role. And talking with people that have worked with this player before, we were really comfortable that he is going to be a good addition and make our team a better team. With respect to the season ahead, we're now down to really 4 weeks, a month of hockey that is left, 16 games to go, as has been the case for the entire regular season through our 40 games. The top of the West Division is very competitive. The positions are up for grabs. All 3 of the top spots, we currently sit 4 points behind Colorado with 1 game in hand. I believe we're 5 clear of Minnesota with even games played, and of course with all games being 4-point games in the division, there's a lot of really important hockey left to play. the trade deadline marks the final opportunity for teams to try to hand your roster off in complete form for the stretch drive in the playoffs. I think that the players have performed well. We believe in the players. We never considered taking anyone out of our mix this season. That was pretty apparent that we believe in the players that we have. And again, happy to add Matthias Janmark to that group here today. So with that, I'd open it up to any questions that